Hey everybody, Josh Assad and Ryan Connolly here from the Mosaic Real Estate team at Keller Williams, and we're here for another episode of Pieces of Western New York, where we interview cool people doing cool things that make Western New York a cooler place to be. Today we're at Wayland Brewing, and I gotta say, this is one of my favorite places in Western New York. It is super fun. I can't wait to show it to you. Let's go check it out. Hey everybody, so we're inside now with Caryn Dujanovich, one of the owners of Wayland. And you know, Caryn, one of the things that really smacks me in the face when I walk in here is this is a really elevated design, unlike anything that we've got in Western New York. How did you come up with this?
Well, I think it was just like a lot of years of looking at inspiration. We knew that we wanted something that was unique to Western New York. We knew we wanted to use a lot of natural elements, so exposed cedar, and, you know, lots of like, you know, white oak and marble. And so a lot of it just kind of actually was created like through the materials. So, yeah.
The natural light is immediately apparent when you walk in. And how does that kind of work with, how are you seeing people interact with that, I guess, when they're in here?
Well, I think for us, it was really important that, you know, kind of with the name Wayland, we wanted people to come and feel at ease and feel like they could just hang out and not be in a rush. And we felt that with that, it needed to be a space that was really bright and welcoming. And, you know, oftentimes with breweries around the country, they are a little bit darker. And, you know, when you walk out, you're kind of like, what time is it? And we more so wanted to make sure it was like a really bright space that you can just like feel relaxed and at home in.
How did you come up with the name Wayland? Tell me how that...
Yes, Wayland, it's interesting coming up with any sort of, you know, name for a business because it's kind of just a made up word until it becomes the name of the place. So
Right.
When we were trying to think about what Wayland meant to us initially, it was a place where you weren't in a rush, you know, and like you can like kind of let your day fall at the wayside. And, you know, when I was growing up, we had a vehicle that it was like a 𝐬𝐮𝐬𝐫𝐿𝐴 where if you sat in the back seat, you were facing...
Yes, with the rolled out?
Yeah. So, you know, my sister and I would call it like the way back.
Yeah.
And, you know, we'd take it out on like country drives. And so for us, it was just kind of a nod to that kind of like nostalgic feeling and just like not being in a rush.
Oh, like when we were kids and we didn't have responsibilities.
When you could just hang out.
And now we can just hang out and drink beer in the sunshine.
Exactly.
All right. So the other thing that kind of really smacks you in the face is this massive green bar.
Yes.
Right? Like.
Yes. The green tile.
How did you come up with this very specific green?
Yes.
And decide that was the right way?
Yeah. So we actually, I actually was able to work with some of my good friends, Raylan from West End Interiors, Brandon Davis from Block Club, and we knew that we wanted to play with color and fun geometric shapes. And when we were kind of like playing with our color palette, you know, the green just kind of, we saw it as an inspiration image somewhere along the line and it just stuck with us. So we hunted down green tile and spent months and months color matching the grout. And it was a process, but ultimately it's exactly what we all envisioned. And yeah.
So I see these colors and the shapes in your menu and your branding and your cans, like it's immediately apparent. So that was kind of the inspiration for those pieces then to have that kit.
Yeah, we wanted it to be playful and you know, something that again, you know, makes you feel happy and uplifted. And you know, we really work closely with Block Club for all of our you know, all of our restaurants. Right. We really make sure that the branding is unified with the restaurant. It's very important to us as a restaurant group. We do it everywhere, and they were very actively involved because Brandon was part of the design here. So it was really great, and we're happy with the bright colors.
So in addition to Wayland Hall, we've got the brewery in the back. We've got a great patio with bocce ball, and you've got And attached to this, you've got like an event space, right?
Yeah.
So tell me, what can you do here? What happens over there?
Yeah, so we always knew we wanted an event space. It's something that we've been working on, trying to find for probably 6 years. And, when this property became available, that's actually the reason we moved forward with this space was for the event hall.
Right.
And we could do literally anything, that's the point of it. It could be for a birthday party, a wedding, just celebration, any celebration we can use it for anything. And I really wanted to make sure that it was it can be a chameleon to whatever the party is. So
it's amazing that there's that much concrete and glass.
I know.
Hard space, but it still feels welcoming.
Soft and
So kudos there. So this was just, when you got it, it was just a VFW hall, right?
It was lots of memories for a lot of people in Orchard Park though, and surrounding areas. So, we knew that we had to do our job and making sure we honored that history, because it is really important to us if a building did have that, to kind of do a nod to it. So, we did keep the house, obviously, and renovated that and the hall. So a lot of people do come and, reminisce over their memories.
I like the contrast from the 1830s to ultra modern.
I know.
It's a cool mix.
Yeah.
So you grew up in Western New York, right? And you decided to stay here. Tell me, what about Western New York is that appealing that you want to stay here and do this?
Yeah, so I grew up in the town of Hamburg, and after high school, I moved away and didn't officially live back here until we opened the Grange. So there were many years I didn't live here. I lived in Washington, D.C., and Colorado, and, kind of all over. And then when we decided we wanted to open the Grange, it was just kind of like going back to our roots. And at the time we opened the Grange, it was kind of like this renaissance, if you will, in Hamburg, because at that time, it wasn't a walkable village, and there weren't a lot of things at that time. So we were excited to be part of that charge in the beginning of that Hamburg resurgence. So, yeah.
I remember that time, and I remember once you guys got into that main street in Hamburg, the whole village kind of became like a buzz and blossomed. And I experienced that myself, opening a spot coffee back in the 90s, right? So I watched what it did at the Delaware Chippewa area. I watched what it did on Elmwood. I watched what it did on Hurdle, and it created these communities, and it gave people a place to gather. And, this was really kind of nothing. And now I see that it's packed on a weekend. People are doing all kinds of things. Maybe there's a wedding, and this space is here, and they're eating dinner, and they're outside playing. So it's amazing to create these spaces together that they weren't really here.
Right. Yeah. And that's kind of how we felt about this area of Orchard Park. We knew we wanted to create this facility of a bunch of different buildings and how to unify them and make them feel cohesive. And so we could do that. So we could have a full restaurant, a full event hall, a full courtyard, and not have it feel like mayhem, So it's just a fun environment,
And it's accessible and available to do this in Western New York, where it might be a little bit more challenging in D.C. or Chicago,
for sure.
or certainly New York City. You can't have this much space.
Yeah. And we're always happy to help out the suburbs. We like being in the suburbs, so.
Excellent. And there's this many talented people that can kind of create this space.
Yeah.
Well, I thank you so much for having us. This is great to be here. I really enjoy the space. I love to come here. And thank you for joining us. And please subscribe and like to catch us again on Pieces of Western New York.